You know, from the very first darkrooms to the AI in our pockets today, we've been redrawing the line between what's real and what's created. And today, that line is fainter than it has ever been. So, let's dive into the long, pretty fascinating history of how we manipulate what we see.
We've all heard that old saying, right? The camera never lies. But honestly, that idea has been a myth from the second cameras were even invented. The truth is, a photograph has always been something you can bend and shape.
Photo manipulation isn't some new digital thing. I mean, just look at this famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln. It looks legit, right? But it's a composite. That's Lincoln's head, yeah, but it's sitting on the body of a completely different politician, John C. Calhoun. And this was done way back in the 1860s. It just goes to show you the urge to tweak reality is as old as photography itself.
And this desire to edit reality just kept evolving right alongside the technology. During the American Civil War, it was pretty common to combine different negatives. By the early 1900s, you had artists perfecting darkroom techniques. But then, by the 1920s, things took a darker turn. Political figures like Lenin and Stalin started using retouching for propaganda. We're talking about physically removing people from photographs. This is where we get that phrase, airbrushed from history, because that is literally what they were doing.
And all of that brings us to the digital age, where the power of the pixel just opened up a whole new universe of possibilities for both incredible artistic expression and for political deception.
But let's be clear, manipulation has always had an artistic side. The legendary photographer Ansel Adams, for example, was an absolute master of the darkroom. He used techniques like burning and dodging, which is just darkening or lightening parts of the image, to enhance his work, to pull out emotion and drama. See, this wasn't about faking reality. It was about elevating it into art.
But then, you get the other end of the spectrum. You have this. It's a really sinister use of the exact same fundamental idea. Joseph Stalin was famous for having his political enemies, like Nikolai Yezhov here, just erased from official photos after they fell out of favor. Yezhov became known as the Vanishing Commissar. It's a chilling reminder of how photo alteration can be used to literally rewrite history.
Of course, the arrival of digital tools. Well, that changed everything. The impact was so huge that one single software brand, Adobe Photoshop, actually became a verb. Today, when we say a picture is photoshopped, we just mean it's been digitally altered. It doesn't even matter what program was used. That right there tells you everything you need to know about its cultural dominance.
So as these tools got more powerful and ended up in more hands, society started to push back a little. Back in 1982, a National Geographic cover that digitally nudged the pyramids closer together sparked this huge debate about journalistic ethics. Then the fashion industry came under fire for promoting totally unrealistic body images, which led brands like Dove to launch their Real Beauty campaigns. It got so serious that governments in places like France and Norway actually passed laws requiring labels on ads with retouched models.
But just as we were starting to get our heads around the ethics of digital editing, the next great technological leap arrived: generative AI. And this represents a fundamental shift. We're moving from just altering reality to actually creating it on demand.
And the key term for this new era is, of course, the deepfake. This is all about those hyper-realistic images and videos generated with AI. And just like those early darkroom techniques, deepfakes have this dual nature. Yeah, they can be used for some incredible creativity and entertainment, but they can also be used for spreading disinformation and creating all sorts of fraudulent content.
What's really wild is just how accessible all of this has become. You don't need to be some coding genius. As you can see, anyone can use open-source models and free online tools, follow a few basic steps, and fine-tune their very own custom AI. So why are people doing this? Well, a huge motivation is the desire to just break free from the rules. People want to create uncensored AI models, to get around what they see as corporate or government-imposed filters, and basically fine-tune these models to reflect their own interests.
This incredible new power, of course, demands an equally powerful human response. So how is society starting to grapple with this brand new reality, where suddenly anyone can generate anything?
And that brings us to the central question we all have to face now. When a totally realistic image can be created in seconds, how do you know what's real? Can you really, truly trust what you see online anymore?
The risks are very, very real, and they're already here. I mean, AI-generated content is being used right now to spread disinformation, to harm elections, to create fake profiles for scams, to generate fraudulent images for insurance claims, even to bypass security checks with spoofed IDs.
So what's our first line of defense?
Well, it turns out it's more AI. We are now in a full-blown technological arms race. We're developing AI-powered detection tools to fight the AI-generated fakes. These tools basically analyze the deep visual patterns of an image, looking for things our eyes would miss, like inconsistent lighting or weird pixel arrangements, the subtle digital fingerprints of artificial creation.
But you have to understand, this is so much bigger than just spotting fake photos. This technology is on track to completely reshape our entire society. A staggering 83% of employers expect AI to fundamentally transform their workplaces in the coming years. This isn't just a media issue, it's an economic and social revolution that's already underway.
And with a revolution that big comes a critical danger: the AI divide. See, there's already a massive global shortage of people with AI skills. That's the skills gap. And that, in turn, risks creating a prosperity gap, where people who can't adapt and learn these new skills risk getting left further and further behind economically.
Now, to make sure that AI actually serves everyone, diversity in its creation is absolutely essential. Think about it. If the data used to train an AI is biased, the AI will just reflect and even amplify that bias. But diverse human perspectives, they lead to more creative solutions, and, this is crucial, they build trust by making sure these powerful systems are relevant and fair to the communities they're supposed to serve.
And this brings us to the final, and I think the most important piece of the puzzle. With all this incredible technology at our fingertips, what's our role? What's the human role in this new reality?
This leads to a really critical realization. When the power to both create and deceive is this easy for anyone to access, our ultimate defense, it can't just be more technology. Technology alone is not going to solve the problems that technology creates.
This is why what truly matters now are our uniquely human skills. An AI can generate an image, but it takes human creativity and analytical thinking to direct it. An AI can execute a command, but it can't provide the ethical judgment on whether it should. These skills, curiosity, resilience, teamwork, they're not replaceable. They are the tools that will allow us to navigate this AI era wisely.
Which leaves us with one final thought. From a doctored photo of Abraham Lincoln to an AI that can generate a whole new world from scratch, the power to shape reality has grown exponentially. And now that this power is in all of our hands, the line between what is real and what is artificial is only going to get blurrier. The only question left is, how will you choose to see the world?